Welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. We're here with Lamar from IOW Sports or IOW Network and Chris and myself. Week one has already started, man. Last night, Thursday night game went down between Detroit and the Lions. We talked about what it was going to look like without Kelsey, and I predicted some things, and I was right about some things, and then it was a good game overall, man. So we got a Detroit fan and a Kansas City Chiefs fan in here, which is good, man. They get to talk about the 21-20 game. It was a close game, so I don't know, man. We can let's talk about Kansas City first and Travis Kelce and his injury, right? You saw him on the sideline like, oh, man, I want to be out there. I want to be out there. But it don't look like they're trying to say that they might have him out there next week. But when I heard one of the commentators say that they got news that he was trying to go in the swimming pool earlier that day and he had no power when he was working in the swimming pool in that leg. That's not a good sign, man. So I get y'all thoughts on Kansas City starting with Travis Kelce's injury. But before we even move further, make sure you subscribe if you're watching us from YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us from Facebook, head over to YouTube and subscribe, and then go over to IOW Network and give them a sub as well. But without further ado, let's go to Kansas City Chiefs fans. Lamar, what's your thoughts about Kelce and when he can come back?
Hey, man, the sooner the better. I'll be honest about that. Let's just keep it a bean. But look, the crazy thing with Kelce is with the hyperextension knee, obviously you do got to worry about the ACL. They say it was intact, so be it. Because this was the first game he missed because of actual injury since his rookie year. So he missed all his rookie year in 2013. So he's been very durable. So this kind of situation is very uncommon with Travis, him missing game time because of actual physical injury. I know he missed a game during COVID, but he caught COVID. I mean, you can't do shit about that. But a lot of Chiefs fans aren't going to say this, but I think the absence of Jody Fortson, who was in that tight end room, was a very athletic, about 6'4", 6'5", had decent speed. He's not available this year. He's going to miss the whole season. So when you kill some of your depth behind Kelce and Kelce goes down, that's what scares you, and you got the result of last night. So, hey, the sooner the better he gets right. I agree with the decision to keep him out because here's the thing, play game one, okay, but you put him at the risk of further damage and you don't have him available for 16 games or miss game one and possibly have him for 16 more games. So I didn't have no issue with having him sit out. Now if he misses in 10 days against the Jacksonville game, then I'm gonna start worrying, because then I'm like, oh well, we set you down for game one to preserve you for the rest of the season. Now you're missing more games, and if you start compiling them games, and I think it's more than what they're probably leading on. But kind of what you said, man, when they're saying you got no power in your leg, so you got dead leg. That ain't good.
I would rather him sit out the 2 weeks. I would give it 2 whole weeks, like just a precaution. Like as soon as I see that his leg is back to normal. Yeah. Right, or 100%. Like if he's able to do everything 100% on the field before that he was doing the day before he got injured, right?
Yeah.
As soon as the day that he started doing that, I give it 1 more week after that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm him, I wouldn't be comfortable with shoot, man, my leg just started feeling 100% yesterday, and we got a game tomorrow, so I'm cleared. Nah. I want a whole full week after. You restore your knee back to the where it was before. So I ain't comfortable with it, but they missed him.
Oh right?
Yeah, they missed him. So I seen a couple of things that I didn't like, and I done complained about this thing for 3 years, probably 2 years about Kansas City and Pat Mahomes being so pass happy. Like you would think, oh man, we don't have Kelce, how we're going to tweak our game? You would think, let's see if we can push the pile and run it down their throats with our running backs. We got 3 of them.
With you, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? But I'm like, like if you got a runner like King Henry,
Yeah,
obviously that's the strength of their team, right?
yeah.
You wouldn't run it with him as much as Pat Mahomes throw it, right? Like you got to have some balance. You got to throw the ball too, right? And I think that's what they're doing. They got the quarterback version of King Henry. He's so good with his arm that they want to display it as much as possible. And I'm like, man, dude, run the freaking football, man.
Hey, man, I said the same thing the other day, bro, because the first thing I said 2 days before he gets it, before the game happens, he gets the injury. So obviously your install of that game plan is already installed. So when it happens that moment, you know, the first thing I was thinking, I'm like, all right, so you without your number one receiving option, you got to get balanced. And they failed at trying to attempt to run the ball, but that, as a Chief fan, man, that's been Andy Reid. So I was hoping that he would do it. He refuses to do it.
Refuses, man.
He absolutely refuses to do it. But at the same time, there was a couple of runs with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I don't know if you guys seen all 22 on Twitter. Dude had a hole about the size of a Mack truck, and he decides to run in the back of his offensive line. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't give a lot of faith to.
I think so. It was some runs that he did that I was like, man, they needed that, and the reason why I felt like that is because I felt like they was trying to do too much speed stuff, and they wanted to be outside. They wanted to get to the edge. They doing all types of jet sweeps and reverses, and everything was about trying to utilize that speed. And I think when Carlos Edwards-Helaire got in the game, not Carlos, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire. When he got in the game, I think he was trying to restore some toughness and be like, man, I'm gonna run and I'm gonna hit somebody.
Yeah,
it was almost like he was making it his business to make sure he put his head down and hit somebody, because we need that attitude. Everybody was trying to be cute, man. Everybody was trying to get to the outside.
Offensive line. That's the problem.
hey, but a couple of other times he put his head down though. So I mean, I think that's what he was doing. What did you see, Chris?
For Kansas City side,
yeah, sure, Kansas City. I mean, I want to milk this Kansas City thing real good before we get to the winner.
I saw a lot. Travis Kelce being absent did more damage to the offense than I thought it would. I thought, that the lack of a run game would be exposed. But I figured because Patrick Mahomes is just this all-world talent, like they're putting him on the level of Tom Brady. What Tom Brady did with all those no-name receivers that he had, Patrick Mahomes would do the same thing. And the disparity in the wide receiver room in Kansas City was on full display last night. When you don't have Travis Kelce, defenses can game plan to just play regular old defense because Patrick Mahomes doesn't have that chemistry with those other receivers. What Travis Kelce does for Kansas City offense is allows other receivers to end up being open because you're going to send two to Kelce. So somebody's going to be open. And that's where these other receivers start looking good in that Kansas City offense. But with no Kelce, you don't have to send two. I'm not sending two to Noah Gray or what's the other one, Blake Bell or whatever the other tight end is. I'm not sending two to those guys. So now I can pin our ears back. We can play man up. We can do whatever. And we're going to make you like showcase these receivers. And in the bright lights, Kadarius Toney,
oh my God,
failed tremendously. There was a lot of crucial plays that Toney had his hands on. And
that's the dude. Jay told me, hey, watch out for Toney. Jay Ansel said that. Watch out for Toney, man. They better be glad they ain't clipped that and play and play them receipts.
Hey, you ain't never heard me say that.
And I feel like Toney looked good in that offense with Kansas City last year, just because Kelce was there. You have to send to the Kelce, so somebody's gonna be open. Somebody can look good. But now that pressure was on him, he probably felt like the number one that night. Or they told him that he was gonna be the number one.
Did y'all see a difference in play calling with EB not being there? Eric Bieniemy, for those who don't know.
I'll say this. it's no secret. Eric Bieniemy or Matt Nagy, whoever it is that's offensive coordinator, they help with the install, but they're not necessarily going to be in charge of the play calling. That's still Andy. The problem is that Andy, like we just said a minute ago, got too pass happy, and without your number one receiving option, just didn't make no sense. You got the best interior line in probably in the whole league between Joe Thuney all the way to Creed Humphrey to Trey Smith, and you decided not to run the ball as much as you could. It's always a problem when Patrick Mahomes is your leading rusher. All right, let's just call it a spade a spade.
Man, leading rusher with 45 yards. I think he ran 6 times. His running backs only ran 8 times and 7 times. I think Pacheco might have been 8 and
Clyde was like 6 or something like that. Yeah.
I don't think it was Clyde. The other one, it was the other one. McKinney had 7.
Let me pull it up. But
I think that's what it was.
But I mean, overall, okay, so yeah, Isaiah had 8, Clyde had 6, and then you had
it was Clyde.
Yeah, then you had Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, and Rashee Rice, who are all wide receivers getting the carry on some jet sheet bullshit. Yeah. So
yeah. The
play calling, look, I call a spade a spade. The play calling from Andy Reid was trash. It was dookie. I didn't like. I've been saying this for years, the last 2 or 3 years. That play call where they're short yardage, like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and he decides to have a jumbo set, and he'll bring Blake Bell in motion, and he'll sneak under the center and try to do a quick little sneak joint. It's failed every time, and I've been screaming to the mountains like, get rid of that damn play, get it out of your playbook. It doesn't work. So the play calling didn't help. Obviously, we could talk about the drop footballs. I think, to my recollection, I might have counted 7 or 8 drop passes.
Well, so the first one, because Tony had 3 of them at least.
Oh yeah,
at least 3 of them. Right?
I think the official stat was 4. I think he had 4 total drops.
4. So I'm a kind of I'm not going to excuse him, but I am going to explain one of them, not the pick. The first one was the one that bounced off his hands.
You can't explain that shit.
That's on him, right? That's on him. The second one, he went on a crossing route, and the other receiver from the other side came on the crossing route, and they crossed at the exact time that Mahomes threw the ball. So the receiver in front of Tony took his line of vision away from the ball, and then when he finally moved away, by the time the ball got there, it was at his knees. So Mahomes threw that one kind of bad. Plus, he threw it at a time where he couldn't even see it. It just snuck up. If it sneak up on you, that's your job as a receiver. You should be able to get that right. You know, I'm pretty sure you go through drills on stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But by the time he seen the ball, it wasn't here. It was at his knees.
That's
so I'm gonna put that one on Mahomes, right? And not even put it on Mahomes. I'm gonna say it was just a mistake that they crossed at the same time, right? So I ain't gonna put that one on him. Yeah. The one he dropped in the crunch time where he had the one who dropped one that had to jump and go get it that was a little bit too high.
I think that was Sky Moore, but there was a one that Kadarius Toney had at like the 2:30 mark, right before the 2-minute warning, and he had a linebacker on him, and he went straight down the seam and hit him right in the hands. And had he caught that, he might have scored. And literally, he had a linebacker trailing on because I just watched the play again. I'm like, yo, this dude right here is killing me. And Mike Tirico, oh my gosh, he dropped it again. So it's like you can hear Mike Tirico in his voice, saying, like, damn. So, but regardless of the drop passes, look, we can harp on that all day about Kadarius Toney. This is where I think Travis Kelce was missed. And to be honest, because like you tapped in with me last night on the late night show, I felt Chris Jones' absence was probably a little bit more significant. They were both truly missed. Let's just call a spade a spade. They were both truly missed. All right. But you can see the frustration in Patrick's face where he's like, I'm waiting for somebody to get open, and his timing with his receivers weren't great. He did have some bad placement on some football, so I'm not going to absolve him of anything at all. So there was some passes that he could have thrown better, could have got better separation from his wide receivers. But you can see the frustration in his face when he's like, damn, man, I wish my guy was out here. He makes something happen for me. So that's where he was definitely missed. But flip it to the Chris Jones side, and I know everybody's been on social media. Oh, they only gave up 14 points. Okay, and I'm glad. I thought the defense played well, but I think that 14 points that they only gave up was a little bit misleading. And this factor is because you saw where the pressure was coming at Jared Goff. It was coming from the outside. And Jared Goff, all he did was just step up in the pocket and was able to deliver the football. Guess who occupies the middle? Chris Jones. There was zero pressure up the middle. And guess where they ran the ball? In the middle. Guess who occupies the middle? That's Chris Jones' area. So I know they only gave up 14 points. We're like, oh, fantastic. Hold on. Really look at the situation. If Chris Jones is there, it might have turned
that would make a difference, but it's two ends of that coin. One, Detroit also didn't have Jamison Williams, who is a wonderful receiver. Period. Like just him as a receiver is already dope, but the fact that he got that speed on top of it makes him it's double murder when you got him on one side and then Amon-Ra on the other one. So they missed that part, and then they handicapped Detroit a little bit with allowing that old lineman on the end to line up illegally pretty much for 4 quarters and jump early half of the game and get away with holds. So it was a lot there. I don't know if we really seen a real full strength Kansas City or Detroit team, because I really do think Hutchinson should have left this game with 3 sacks. But
I probably could have had more.
I mean, he was more, and y'all never doubled him. Y'all kept one guy over there the whole time.
He was getting cooked.
Well, I say this: they left them. They left the tackles on the island, but then they started to chip them in the second quarter or second half of the game. So at least Andy started to get at least a little bit smart with his play calling as in to start to chip them. But look, I'm with you. I was concerned about the tackle play because I know Donovan Smith has been in the league for a minute, but he was on the Super Bowl team in Tampa Bay and they cut him. There's a reason for that. And Jawan Taylor, look, I saw him do that same shit, being quick off the line when he was with Jacksonville last year. He did it against Joey Bosa in the playoff game. And then the next week he came to Kansas City and did the same thing against Frank Clark. So I wasn't shocked that was happening. I was shocked that it wasn't getting called. And hey, Chiefs fans, be mad at me. Yeah, I don't care. I'm a Chiefs fan too, but we gotta call a spade a spade. Homie he has the tendency to do it, and he's done it. And refs got to call it. We've seen Lane Johnson do it for the Eagles. I mean, we've seen other tackles do it too. It needs to get called on a more. It's almost like in the NBA where they stop calling carrying and traveling. It's simple things that are part of the game that they're not calling anymore, and it needs to get adjusted and it needs to get called. Period. I don't care if it's my team or not. It was literally him. Because first of all, he was damn near 2 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
They call him a slot receiver.
They call him a slot boy. They say he lined up like a slot.
The commentators was on him. The resident ref in the booth broke down the criteria for what a legal and illegal lineman is, and it was like every play, bro.
He lucky Tony had all those drops, because he would be the conversation. If it wasn't for Kelsey being out and Tony with all those drops, Taylor would be the conversation this morning. He would be the scapegoat, man.
Oh yeah, and Donovan Smith had a crucial holding call late in the game where they had converted, I think, a 30-17 or something like that. And he got called for holding, and they had to bring that play back. I seen that hold at least 3 times on Hutch. And it was not calling it in the first half. They finally gave him one. But anyway, man, we beating a dead horse, and we beating the horse that actually died on the field. I mean, we just go to the Lions.
talk about the winners, man. The winners came in there, done their thing. Jared Goff came in there, didn't turn the ball over. Lions had one turnover. That was that fumble in the red zone.
Oh man, that hurt my heart, man.
They could have got a field goal out of that unless they went for it again. If they would have went for it on fourth down, because that was a third down where and he was getting tackled short of the first down, and he coughed it up. But that would have been 3 points on the board, possibly 7 if they went for it on fourth down. But I was impressed, man. I was impressed, but I do want to. I can't wait to see the Lions full strength. I can't wait to see when Jameson comes back, man. Him and St. Brown. I did have a little bit of issue with Montgomery being the featured back and Gibbs coming in, and I'm like, every run Gibbs had, you almost thought he could have broke it. And I'm like, golly, this dude is good, man. And then he was running hard and strong and hitting people, bouncing off of him, wasn't going down easy. Man, now they got some in the backfield. But anyway, I'll let Chris tell me what he saw, man, from Detroit.
Man, I mean, I was saying it all night, all day today. These ain't the same old Lions. They came out there, they showed the revamped defense. I mean, that was the biggest concern from last year, was that defense. We had a top 5 offense last year. We only added to it. But the biggest thing was, how would the defense hold up against a high-powered octane offense in Kansas City? And I couldn't have been more proud of that defense last night. It was like the secondary, which was the biggest issue of the defense last year, where people were getting cooked over top, across the middle, we're giving up a lot of big plays. The secondary,
like Kansas City back in the day. Kansas City with Sorensen back there.
Yeah. So
that's the Saints' problem now.
Yeah. Detroit's defense yesterday in that secondary stepped up and showed out to the point where Dan Campbell trusted his defense so much, he went for it on fourth down to try to ice the game on Kansas City's 45.
No, that wasn't trusting the defense. That was fear.
No, that was trusting the defense.
No, that was fear of Mahomes.
That was fear. Yeah, of Mahomes. Yeah,
we have an all-pro punter who can put that ball anywhere he wants. So he could have put it inside the 10.
They had 2 3 and outs or whatever, or 2 stalled drives, and they couldn't stand to do a third one because it was like, man, we keep, how many times we go roll a 7 with these dice, man? Like, we keep giving Mahomes the ball and he ain't killed us yet. It's coming.
Yeah.
So he was like, man, we gotta get points on the board right now. That was fear. That wasn't because he was confident that he was gonna stop the Kansas City Chiefs from the 25-yard line if they didn't get it. That was like on the 25, bro. The 30.
No, it was just past midfield.
Because I think
right before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, you're talking about that. I think Mel, you're talking about the fake punt.
Yeah, the one early.
No. I'm talking about
the one they scored off of.
Oh, no. That's Dan Campbell. That's not fear or nothing. Dan Campbell.
That's fear.
No, it's not.
That was fear.
No. You asked the Lions fan you asked the Lions fan to
bro, that's fear, man.
Who watched the Lions more, me or you?
That's fear.
Who watched the Lions more, me or you?
Hey, look, I'll mediate this one. What Mel is talking about with the fake punt, to me, that was more of Dan saying, "Hey, man, that's 2 drives that we went 3 and out. We got to get something going, and you got to steal a drive from Patrick." So that was more like, "Hey, I got to steal a drive," and it was a gutsy call. Luckily, it worked out because he was on his on 18 or something like that.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay,
yeah. So that was like, I got to do something to jumpstart my team because we can't keep going on these 3 and outs. But now what Chris is talking about late in the fourth quarter when they went for it on fourth down and they end up passing it, I like the aggressiveness of going for it on fourth. I didn't like the play call because I
didn't like the play call at all.
I didn't like the fact that the Red Sea was parted for Jared Goff to run.
Oh,
and
thank
get
you.
30 yards.
Thank you.
and he threw a pass that I know it wasn't gonna get completed. I could tell by the way he threw it, the dude wasn't really open. Man, that dude threw it as hard as he could.
When they showed the above field replay, like the downfield, and I'm like, all you had to do was step up, bro. It was 2 yards, and you
could have walked to the first down.
You easily had 10. But I'm like, just sometimes, and you see it with Jared Goff, not as much as it used to be, but when he gets in a zone, he kind of just focuses on that, right?
Oh, yeah. Hey,
So that's what happened with that play, and I was like,
it's funny you say that, Chris, because there was a play where Amon-Ra literally went straight down the seam, and the Chiefs had a busted coverage, and I'm talking about Amon-Ra was wide open, wasn't nobody within 20 yards of him, and Jared was so focused on Reynolds coming underneath on the end route that he just totally just spaced out and didn't see him and didn't throw the ball.
there was a couple plays he missed.
Him the hooker won't miss him next season. It's cool. He won't miss him next season. By the time that machine is well oiled and ready to go, they'll have that quarterback of the future right there running it. You know, it'll be two Pro Bowl receivers on one end in their prime still. A running back that's probably a Pro Bowl still on his rookie contract, and a quarterback still on his rookie contract, and they all gonna be primed and ready to go. And all they got to do is get rid of Goff for another draft pick and keep it moving.
Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs is something silly, bro.
Yeah. Man, so to what you were saying, Mel, I think it might have just been a thing of formality. Starting David Montgomery, letting him get in the, you know what I'm saying, he's the vet, whatever. But I think Gibbs is going to be the back in the future, and I think last night accelerated the time that happens. I think it's going to happen sooner than later because we've seen just how explosive he was both in the running and the pass game. Like he caught he was coming across and caught a little sweep handoff from Jared Goff and cut around the corner, ran down the side, and he bounced off a tackle and hit him with some kind of like Kyrie half spin and had the defender, and he just skirted down the line. And then just the blazing speed. And you know, it's another thing about Gibbs that they didn't even line him up out wide last night. That's another weapon. They didn't even showcase that yet. Yeah. So until you get Jameson back, you still got that speed option with wide receiver hands that they can put out wide. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
but evidently they didn't need to do it against Kansas City. They were like, man, a quarter of the playbook will slide out there, man.
It was promising. There's still stuff, you know, that we need to work on. Obviously, we got Seattle coming into town, and you know that's gonna be. We'll see. We owe them one for sure. We definitely owe them one. But
it's definitely Chiefs too.
I don't think it'll be as low scoring as it was this game. I think the offense will, you know, be in a better groove, and it'll just, you know, it'll be clicking, man.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, congratulations to the Lions. I mean, that's a big moment for that franchise. Why
are you congratulating them for a week 1 win?
No, I'm just saying they played the cleaner game. Nobody played a perfect game last night. I thought that, you know, was it a good game overall? Yeah. I'm
gonna ask you this: would you be congratulating the Chiefs if they won?
No, that's what we're supposed to do.
Anybody congratulate nobody for no week 1 win.
Yeah, but hold on, man. You got to understand, for a franchise of the Lions, where their history, if this wasn't this year, that game, it's probably getting out of hand if you're talking about the Lions from before. So you see the progression in a franchise, bro. You can see it.
The thing about it's not so much as a congratulations on the win. It's a congratulations because like they saw what happened last year. They saw how it finished, and it was more of like, is this real? Can it keep going?
Get that smirk on.
And for the Lions to be able to go in, you trusting them to go on prime time, opening night. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought it was going to be a dog walk. Oh no! Even Mel changed his pick. He didn't believe in the Lions.
I changed my pick, Lamar. It ain't that, man. I don't know what it was, man. I had Lions all week long. I said it 5 different times on 2 different podcasts. And I said it in group chats. And then when I went to your pick'em league, Lamar, when I went to it and seen that Kansas City logo, something in my brain just automatically clicked. I don't know why I clicked Kansas City, man. It was just I don't know. It was red. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. We're all mentally conditioned to see Lions and see losers and see bad.
He not lying.
So
He's not lying.
so
That's
when
probably what happened.
so when you see them compete
It's-
like they did last night, I mean, they
It's
were
a page turn.
Bruh, it's a page turn,
Yeah.
but let's buyers beware.
It's
All I'm
1
saying
week.
is it's 1 week.
It's 1 week.
It's one
That's
week.
true.
And this 1 week doesn't change your history as a whole. This
Absolutely.
has to continue through December.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 is a fluke, 2 is a streak. So I need to see consistency.
Oh,
Yeah, once they get that statue up of Barry Sanders at the stadium,
then they gonna be all right.
yeah, then they might break the curse, you know.
Yeah.
They still got to give Caldwell a job, and then after that,
right by them.
yeah, they did right by Barry Sanders, got him back in there because Barry Sanders wanted to come out of retirement a couple of times, and the Lions was like, "Nope, we still got you on the contract, but well, you come back, you coming to Detroit." And
Mhm.
Barry was like, "Nah, I'm good," because he wanted to come play with the Redskins when Dion came.
Mhm.
And Detroit was like, "Nah, we got you for 2 more years on a contract, big dog. You come back, you playing for us."
You gonna be in that Honolulu?
Yeah. So Barry and Detroit was estranged, but you know their relationship. But you seen Barry in the building last night, so you know, so they and he getting they announced he getting a statue. So they do that. Now they got to give Caldwell a job, maybe offensive coordinator. I don't know. And then after that,
Now Ben Johnson, they ain't getting rid of Ben Johnson.
Nah, Caldwell, he over there in Carolina. He'll be all right.
all right,
All
all right, let's move, man. Let's go.
The other
Huh?
curse that they actively are fixing is Calvin Johnson has been deeply, heavily involved with football operations over there.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
that's dope.
he was estranged from that.
Yeah, they did him dirty
Yeah.
too, but he been in the building.
Yeah.
He been getting a lot of love. So
Man, what's up with y'all getting
That's
mad
good.
when people want to retire early because they want to preserve their body? Y'all just get mad at them and shit
I
over
don't know. I think it's just because they was black. Because as soon as Matthew Stafford asked for a trade, they got him the fuck up out of there.
Sure. All right, man. Let's go to the news, man. Joe Burrow, highest paid player in NFL history. I think he's almost close. He's close to 60 million a year. I think
55,
he's
I think.
55.
55. Around
55.
there.
Woo.
Huge contract. I think 219 of it is guaranteed. So he didn't get all. He didn't get a fully guaranteed like Watson did, but very close, man. What's y'all thoughts? He gonna be in that situation where Pat Mahomes is now. Well, you getting so much money to your quarterback. Now we gotta have skeleton crews at some position. Whether it's gonna be at the receiver or the running or the backfield and you know they gotta pay Chase. So So
Well,
Chase is gonna be
there's-
Kelsey. Yeah.
Hey,
There's already reports. I've seen reports earlier today that the Bengals and T are missing on a deal, and that the Bengals are prepared to move on without him after the end of the season.
T. Higgins?
Yeah,
oh
No,
yeah,
they be fine. Yeah, you can replace him
oh yeah.
as long as you keep Chase.
See, that's the thing, man. You hit it right on the head. Jamari ain't going nowhere. That's
Yeah.
without a doubt.
him and Burrow is two peas, but
Yeah. Now T and Boyd are the ones that's pretty much are at the bad side of this deal with Burrow.
Yeah, but they're expendable though. They're not like that.
But
You know,
hold on now. You got to remember Burrow's success is predicated off his wide receivers, and all three of them are hitting 1K a year. All three of them.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they can get 2 more to do the same thing. It's not hard to find a T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd. You can't find them more Chase or Burrows.
I feel
Just like everybody was like, oh man, Tyreek Hill gone, and they was like, man, we can go get a speedster. I mean, you still won a Super Bowl without Hill, as long as you kept his favorite target. You kept Kelsey. We figured out a way. You know what I mean? You gotta cut the finances that say, somewhere. All of them can't be paid.
Oh no. And
You gotta figure something out.
it ain't gonna happen. So look, at the end of the day, I mean, it's no secret quarterback is the highest paid position in the league. Is going to continue to be. That's what the league wants. That's how they're driven. The rules are made it very quarterback friendly. So I mean, it's just another guy that just reset the market. I mean, quarterback's been resetting the market all season. It was
For sure.
Hurts, then it was Lamar Jackson, then it was Herbert, and now it's Burrow's turn. So
a lot of good quarterbacks, man.
yeah.
A
So
lot of good quarterbacks.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see how Trevor Lawrence is going to come into this equation in about a year and a half. If they're going to allow him to reset the market.
he got to win the division though.
Yeah.
He's not going
We'll
to
see.
get a contract without.
Well,
I think my biggest problem is, Joe Burrow worth the money. Go get the money. by all means, right? But now you have a issue with a wide receiver, but like you said, you can go get another T. Higgins, another Tyler Boyd, right? But the biggest problem in Cincinnati is still that O-line.
Mm-hmm.
You went and got Orlando Brown. That's one person. That's one person. Like
they're addressing in the draft.
Bad.
They're addressing in the draft.
And the draft is too late. We still got 17 games to play with a banged up Joe Burrow before the first game even played. You just paid him, and you at risk of possibly, if he get hit the wrong way or hit too many times.
we don't know if the line is bad until we see the games this year. I mean,
they still got the same people from the last year minus Orlando Brown.
Pretty much.
And that line is still bad.
Hey, that ain't no cap, though. I mean, come on.
Nah, you ain't never seen the line get better. Come on,
with the same people.
Yeah, sure.
Mel, we are talking about the Bengals line that has cost them an AFC Championship game and a Super Bowl, bro. Same line. You throwing Orlando Brown Jr. on there? Come on, man. I can tell you about Orlando Brown Jr. The dude's feet is too slow. He's a great run blocker. Pass blocker. I'll let.
Hey, man. I mean, it wasn't nobody available for them to address it. I mean, it ain't like Orlando Pace walking through that door in free agency. You know what I mean?
I just feel like that's the biggest issue. Is like, I mean, yeah, you paid the quarterback, but now you got the line. That's the next thing you need to be spending money on.
But they had to pay. But they had to pay him though. They couldn't be like, hey, we can't pay you, Burrow, until we get you a line. So let's hold off on that money. They had to pay him. So
no, absolutely. And like I said, I'm not mad about it. But like now go address the line. Then I'll be happy. I'll be happy with that situation.
Yeah. All right. Cooper Kupp. They said there's a possibility he could go on IR. This coming from Coach McVay.
We knew this.
We talked about this too. I said, man, was you on there with us? Lamar was talking about his ham.
Nah, but I saw the episode and I wasn't surprised that y'all said that because I was feeling the same thing. Because I'm like, wait, this dude he ain't been cleared all preseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's a week away from the opener and you ain't even close to being cleared and you're seeing specialists. I was like, oh yeah, this ain't it, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, I stayed away from him in fantasy drafts. I was looking at the fools that was drafting. I'm like, hey, you're losing.
Yeah. He dropped out of my top 10. I think he dropped out of Chris' top 10 too. Chris had him at 10 at first, and then he thought about it. He was like, man, nah, I gotta.
He was at 10 on mine, and then the whole injury setback, and I was like, yeah, slide.
Yeah. So that sucked, man. So I mean. Yeah, in fantasy, people who drafted him first round, they go be crying.
That's a roster spot, bro. That shit hurt.
Yeah, but for the Rams, what else they got, man?
Nothing.
Matthew Stafford
and Van Jones and Cam Akers.
Yeah, but even Stafford is questionable with his elbow. He gonna play, but I'm still shaky on his situation because
he'll be retired before the end of the season, dog.
Yeah, if they start out 0-5, 0-6, or 2-5 or something like that. They bringing in Stafford Bennett.
Yeah,
they go sick. They
go
sick.
Stetson.
They gonna have to, man. Unless they go have him out there parading him around like New York did. Eli Manning was like, nah, he still got it. You know, you remember when the Pope died and they had instead of burying him, they had a parade. They up there dragging him on a parade float. Pope just stinking, just. That's how it looked when Eli was out there. They just kept throwing him out there, and Odell Beckham was like, "Man, get me somebody who can throw 10 yards, man. Come on, man." they go do Stafford like that, I guess, man. Have him out there stinking like the Pope.
Yeah, it's a parade at this point, man. And it's like Stafford's my guy. Obviously, as you can see, man, I love that dude, man. He got his ring. That should have just walk off into the sunset, bro. That whole team should have just been minus Cooper Kupp but Aaron Donald should have left. Stafford retired. Von Miller knew what to do, so this is like
got his ring.
I don't want to see him because like now he's going out there. And it's like the hurt dog that you don't want to put down, but you know eventually you're gonna have to put down.
Facts.
And it's gonna be rough to see, especially since like that was my quarterback for years, and I hate to see him go out like that, man. It's almost the same way Drew Brees went out. He just couldn't sling it anymore. and he had that rotator cuff issues. It's like, just hang him up, man. It's gonna be a bad, rough year for Rams fans.
It sure is, man. All right, let's get into week one, some of these matchups, and let's talk about what's going on in fantasy. Let's talk about who we go sit, who we go start. We'll go week by week. Well, not week by week, but game by game for week one. And we'll talk about it. You see how I got it. All right. So if we start, let's start with the 49ers and Steelers matchup, because I like that one, right? First of all, Steelers go surprise some people. Their defense gonna be good. So you gotta think twice about who you starting in this game and maybe possibly sit somebody. But at running back, these two dudes, CMC and Najee Harris, 100% start. I don't care if you're playing the best defense in the league. You got to start these two dudes if you got them on your roster, man. So you see the numbers up there from last year. You know, they especially CMC, man. He go do his thing. But what's y'all thoughts on them, man? You agree? You sitting any of these dudes, or is it a start?
Nah, no question. This is, for me at least, automatic starts for both. You got them, play them.
My only pushback on Najee Harris is that the 49ers have always been a good rush defense. And I don't necessarily see Najee Harris as I guess dual threat as Christian is. But I would definitely start Christian because the fact of the matter is, whether it's Purdy or Sam Darnold, he's probably going to be Purdy. He's easily a safety valve for whoever is quarterback, who's ever back there. Kittle is, last time I saw, he was probable, but he is dealing with some kind of little nagging injury, so you probably won't get full production out of him. So that gives you the chance to get more touches from Christian, at least in the receiving game. But if you happen to have one or the other, I would go with Christian before I would go with Najee, though.
Okay. So if you thinking twice about starting Najee, then you can't be thinking about starting his backup Warren. If you got Warren on your roster, what are you doing with him?
Sit.
Come on, he ain't coming off the bench. What you talking about?
but Warren is a more elusive back, and I think he catch a little bit more passes.
Yeah, which I understand, but he's not going to get enough. He's not going to get enough touches to help you win a matchup, because Deontay Johnson and George Pickens are going to be your first two options. Then Fairmouth, your tight end, is going to be your third option. So even if you have him on your bench, he's probably at best your fourth receiving option at running back. So if you don't even start Najee, I wouldn't even, hey, Warren got to sit too. Matter of fact, you better put him at the bottom of the bench there. So, yeah. I mean, because I'm looking at this matchup wise, and San Francisco is so stout against the run. You're going to have to get very creative to get Najee his touches. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you can take the creativity with Christian because you already know he's going to be a problem in the receiving, in the running. So, yeah.
This is how I look at it. I mean, and this is what's so great about having coaches that's been there for a long time, because you know their personality and you know what they like to do. And I know Tomlin knows how to play gritty, grimy, dirty games, and he knows how to run that football and continue to be consistent with running it, and he's not going to fall in love with the pass. So he's going to run. He's going to play smash mouth football. And at the very least, if Najee get in the end zone twice, just because I know they probably go run it a couple of times if they get in the red zone, he can be a touchdown, person that helps out in fantasy. It might not be a lot of volume, and he might not get 30 carries and break off 2 or 3 big runs, and he go get 10 passes thrown his way. He might not get all that in this game, but he's going to touch the ball, and he's definitely going to touch it in short yardage near the goal line. So that I mean, I'm looking for him to get in the end zone once or twice, and I'm still starting, man. And CMC, he ain't got no green light for sure, because Pittsburgh defense is going to be stout as well. So both of these are facing something, but I mean, ain't no way I got, because if I got CMC, that means I took him in the first round. He's 100% gonna be the best running back on my roster. Gotta start him. I can't think of anybody else that I would start just because CMC playing the Steelers and vice versa. Same thing for Najee, man. If I got Najee, would I get him? Probably get Najee 4th round, maybe. Yeah, so I mean, he might be your RB2. Yeah, but anyway, speaking of the receivers, you talk about Pickens and Deontay Johnson. Now, this is the interesting thing. A lot of the targets going to Johnson. Look at 147 targets Johnson last season. That's crazy, man. 86 receptions. That's crazy, but 0 touchdowns. So, if you got one of them on your roster, are you starting either one? If you got let's say we got Deontay Johnson, he's the number 2 guy, right? If you got him, are you starting him? I say yes.
As a flex, though.
Yeah. I'm starting both of them.
You starting either one of them if you got them on your roster. Yeah. I got to start for both of them, man, because I believe in Pittsburgh's offense this year. I believe in Kenny Pickett. I'm telling you, he gonna be slinging that ball, man. So I think both of these dudes are must starts this week. Yeah. Go ahead, Lamar.
No. I'm saying I'm with you. If I got either one of them on my team, I'm starting them. Because I gotta give Kenny Pickett his credit, bro. Like, I was against Homeboy last year. I was like, no, dude gonna be dookie, he gonna be trash. And back half of that season, the regular season last year, he was nice. And then I know it's preseason, but the connection that you see with Deontay and George that he got with him, it's like, okay, they might got something right there. So you just gotta, if they get the right matchup, man, because I think both of them are elite route runners, and George Pickens looks like he could catch anything and everything that's in his radius. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you got to start both of them, whether it's flex. Right, it's whether it's either 1 or 2. So yeah.
I like where you can get both of them in the draft too. That's what I like. You can get both of them in the draft with pretty good picks. You ain't got to get them super early, man. They still available in late rounds, man. So that's dope. Chris, you starting both of them or no? Not both, but either. If you got either one of them on your roster.
If I got one or the other, I would start, but only as a flex option.
For who?
Both
for
of them.
Either one of them?
Yeah. It's the threat of that, the fact that the connection with both of them is so good with the quarterback that it could be either one's day. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like how Keenan Allen and Williams is.
Yeah, and it's kind of inconsistent to where you can kind of put a clock on it and be like, okay, I can put him as my wide receiver 1 or my wide receiver 2. A flex option is pretty good for him, because I mean, for you to get them, there had to have been other receivers you could have got first before you got down. Like you said, you can get them late in the draft, right? So, I wouldn't have him as my.
Well, you don't want to get them
too
late.
No. Yeah. Like you can get them in like a nice little steal range, like round 6 or round 7.
I don't know about that far. In
a 15 round draft. 6 or 7 round?
Let's see. Let me see if I remember. My first pick was I can't even remember who my first pick was. Can't even remember who I definitely went running back. Saquon Barkley was my first pick. I went running back for 2nd round. 3rd round I went receiver. 4th round I grabbed another running back. 5th round I grabbed my receiver. So I waited late to get my receiver, so I ended up with DK Metcalf as my receiver. So obviously my receiver number 2 was gonna be even worse than that. So I ended up with Drake London.
That's a flex option at best, dog.
Hey, well, we'll see. But I would much rather have George Pickens than Drake London.
Oh yeah.
Was he already gone by the time you got to that pick?
He had to be if I didn't get him, because I already had my eye on George Pickens. So yeah, okay. so he was gone. He was gone fifth round at the latest.
I'm not mad for those who start either one at wide receiver 2. It's just flex is about as high for me. I can go with them right now.
Yeah, I'm putting my money on it that Pickens will be wide receiver 1 before he would be recognized as a wide receiver 1 by week 4.
Okay.
By that time. All right, let's look at the 49ers. I'm not starting. Well, I'm giving a lot of thought to starting Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, I'm giving it a lot of thought, man. But it's tough, man, because Debo didn't have that type of year last year. And looking at the numbers, you get what I'm saying? Looking at the numbers, Ayuk might not be a bad person to start, but I just can't do it, man. Because I know they want to use Debo. He was just injured so much last year.
Yeah.
But they want to use him, man. So for week 1, they both coming in healthy. I would think that Debo would be getting more targets than Brandon. But that's just my thought. So I would be starting.
Yeah, you gotta
Debo.
wait for the shit to pop up across the screen. Like on some
I don't
weird
know
shit.
who keep having that from their computer coming here.
Oh, that's my bad.
Yeah, but Brandon. I'm thinking twice about that though.
I like Brandon. I think he's gonna have a step up season this year from last year, just because Purdy is gonna have to spread that, or Darnold, whoever's quarterback, is gonna have to spread that ball around more, just because defenses are gonna be centered more on Debo and CMC, so that'll open up more looks for Ayuk, and he was the more premier receiver last year. Debo was out a couple games. But he's also capable of being a number 1. I think he'd be a number 1 on a lot of other teams in the league. So
you being real generous, dog.
Yeah, if he got number 1 capability, then at some point I'm gonna have to give him that Charles Barkley and be like, I apologize, I wasn't that familiar with your game, because I don't see number 1 in him. I see
you being generous, bro.
Yeah, I think that if you got a true number 1 beside you, then you can look good, but absent of that number 1, yeah.
Hey, you gonna fall into the Juju Smith-Schuster category?
Look what he did. Look what he did when the true number 1 was absent.
Yeah, but still, when you looking at Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuels, and George Kittle on the same offense that you're on, you're going to have the possibilities of some one-on-one coverage. I mean, there's no way around that. There's going to be so much other talent that's on your offense that is so damn good. It's going to take away some defensive coverage on you. I mean,
well, to put it in perspective, right? CMC didn't come until late. Debo was missing games. So honestly, it was only just Kittle and Brandon. And then you had Juwan Johnson, and I can't even rattle off whatever
Mitchell. I think that's his name.
Whatever other receivers that they had. So he was pretty much the number 1 for most of the season. Then of course you get CMC and Debo back, and now and he was still able to finish the season over 1K in yards. So it's
I give him his credit. The numbers are there. Yeah. It's just.
I said some teams, not every other team in the NFL.
I was about to say, I was like, wait, you talking about 31 teams, or you talking about a handful of teams?
Right. He could be the number 1 on some other teams in the NFL.
Okay, Houston's one of them in Arizona, so that's what I
so Chris, you starting Brandon Ayuk.
If I have Brandon Ayuk, I would start Brandon Ayuk. If I have Debo, I'm gonna start Debo. But if I have Brandon, I would start Brandon.
There you go. I wouldn't.
And it's fair.
Well, no, I would. But
flex.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was thinking. Flex. Flex. Because you got to take what you can get from him. But if you're asking him to be your wide receiver 1 or 2, he's not actually that on the roster. So it's like, it's kind of hard to put him like that as your fantasy team.
114 targets though. He got in the end zone 8 times.
But like Chris said, when you got Debo going down and Christian didn't come to your team about late October, I mean you're going to obviously get some targets because you got people missing. But when they come back, hey man, your targets is going down, Pip. All
right, tight ends. I'm not. So I'm not saying that Fairmouth is not gonna be that dude. I'm just saying I don't trust him yet. So
Fair enough.
I'm not starting him. I doubt people got more than one tight end on their roster anyway. So if you ended up with Fairmouth, then you waited too late to get a tight end possibly. But yeah,
I almost got stuck with him in one league. I was like, bro, let me grab a tight end real quick. Because I'm like you, dog.
But you might be good. You might be good though. He might turn out. I'm just saying I would like to have a better option in my starting lineup. So I wouldn't be recommending starting him. I would hope you got somebody better than that. But of course, Kittle, he got like some injury concerns. He said he was ready to go for week 1. But he don't have a major injury like Kelsey did. You know, it's just one of those things. So if he's suited up, I'm starting him. I got you got to, right?
I mean, you can't overlook 11 touchdowns. Like,
that's what I was about to say because I saw
goodness
that
gracious,
stat. I was
man.
like,
11 touchdowns. Like the yards is kind of close in comparison, but the disparity is the touchdowns. I mean, Kittle is just that red zone guy, and I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 of those touchdowns came off of a long play too. So he's a yak guy as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like if he is so much as if he feels good, if the numbers is right for him, and if the clouds part the right way, and he says I'm starting, then I'm starting him.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all this. All right, because I want to get y'all thoughts on the matchup. Then we'll move on. If you got Purdy on your roster and you got Kenny Pickett, which one would you start for this week 1 matchup?
That's hard.
Me personally, I'm not starting Purdy. I would rather take my chances with Kenny Pickett against 49ers offense than I would with Purdy against Pittsburgh's defense. I said that wrong.
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, we got
you.
49ers defense.
Yeah, we got you.
I'll say this: if you're looking at secondary, it's a no-fly zone with Mika Fitzpatrick back there.
Well, you ain't lying.
It's a no-fly zone. So I'm with you on that. I'll probably go Kenny Pickett before.
But coming off of Tommy John, I highly doubt Brock Purdy's taking the top off anyway.
I want to see what he looked like week 1. I'd rather start Kenny Pickett for a couple of reasons. Like I said, I trust.
Is there another option? Can I pick another quarterback?
No. If you ended up with both of them on your roster,
I'm starting the kicker.
Me too.
I'm just playing. If it was between the two, I would definitely trust Kenny Pickett more, just because like the elbow is a huge concern, man. I'm not week 1. If you start Purdy, first off, you drafted horribly. But it's Pickett for me out those two.
Yeah. So all right, I'm not gonna go through. We're against the time, so I'm not gonna go with every team in week 1. I'm gonna go with some of these key matchups I like. Bengals Browns. Starter sit Burrow, starter sit Watson. Like I know Burrow is a no-brainer, but he did have a calf strain. But I got Burrow on my roster, and I'm starting him. So 100% start Burrow. Watson, is there a question mark there? Would you start Watson, or would you go with who your other quarterback you got?
It depends on who your other quarterback. If your other quarterback happens to be like one of those other top 5 fantasy quarterbacks, and you probably sit them. If not, here's the thing with Deshaun, and this is what scares me with him. Is he going to be able to? I'm not looking for him to be full. Before the massage guy and lighten it up, and because there was a point he was toted with him and Patrick Mahomes as some of the best quarterbacks in the league about 3 years ago. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to knock off some more of that rust, because those 6 games he played last year, it just you could tell he was gone for 2 years. So I would probably look at Deshaun maybe week 2, week 3. I need to see something of progression first. From
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what I seen from Deshaun last year, I didn't like. Yeah. Right. So even if I did have the balls to draft him, whoever my other quarterback is, I'm starting that person over Deshaun, at least for week 1. Because I don't like question marks. So I'm gonna go with what I know. Where like if I had Geno and Deshaun, I'm starting Geno this week.
And I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
Geno was accurate as hell last year. So
Heck yeah. And
Yeah.
if Deshaun shows out, then I'll be like, okay, well, he's showing me he back to his old self. I throw him back in there. That's what I would do. Is there anybody else in this Bengals Browns? Of course, Chase. Right. So of course we starting Chase. Do you go further? If you got T. Higgins, do you start Higgins? Do you start Amari Cooper at receiver? Is there anybody else that you starting in this matchup?
here's my only pushback to what you said about Burrow. You already talked about how shaky that O-line is, and Myles Garrett always sacks Joe Burrow. Always sacks Joe Burrow. That's my only pushback. I'm not saying you sit him.
Yeah, but you still start him though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
Still
you got to take that in consideration before you hit that button to start him or sit him. That's all I'm saying.
There's no quarterback in the top 5 that you thinking about. Like it don't matter unless you got another quarterback that's just hot. That's real, like like maybe you got Aaron Rodgers. You can get him real late in the draft. So maybe you took Burrow early. Well, it's funny because I do got Aaron Rodgers and Burrow. So I got Aaron Rodgers and Burrow. You can get Aaron Rodgers like 7th round. He's just sitting there.
That's crazy.
Right?
He's falling so far in the fantasy draft nowadays.
Right.
Crazy.
So if you got that option, let's say it's week 2 and Aaron Rodgers lit it up week 1, and now I got a decision to make. If the Bengals is playing somebody who got a pass rusher like Garrett, okay, yeah, I go with Aaron Rodgers. He hot right now, maybe, right? But you don't want to miss out on that opportunity where Chase and Burrow had one of them games where they just breaking records. You know what I mean? So you gotta put the young buck out there, man. So it'd be hard for me to bench Burrow this season. I got Aaron Rodgers for the bye week.
True.
Factuals.
I dig it.
Anybody else who you start mixing?
I was actually gonna say I would sit Mixon. I'm staying away from Mixon.
Staying away from Mixon, but obviously Chubb, you're definitely starting Chubb, right?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Because Chubb's still gonna get his carries. He's still a big part of that offense.
Not to mention, I don't think they brought back Kareem Hunt, so now he'll be the premier back. There's no more splitting carries.
Yeah.
So-
Kareem Hunt's a free agent. Amari Cooper.
Wow, that's wild.
Start him.
Real
Start
sick.
him. I got him starting in both my leagues. So
Yeah, I'm starting.
he's
Cooper.
gonna be Deshaun's number 1.
Yeah,
Peoples Jones is on the up and come, but
I'm not starting to.
Cooper is gonna be his number 1. So I'm starting
Absolutely.
Cooper.
Absolutely. Buccaneers, Vikings.
I'm not starting nobody.
I'm definitely not starting Baker Mayfield.
Except JJ. JJ the only one getting started.
Right. If you're not taking Mayfield on your roster, bro, you
was auto drafting. You was auto drafting. You had to be.
You didn't give a damn about that draft, bro.
Even auto draft will get you a better quarterback than that. Golly.
If you stuck with Baker, come on, man. You was not winning your league, bro.
Yeah,
It ain't happening,
but
bro.
so no to Baker, but yes to Kirk Cousins.
Oh hell yeah! I had Kirk Cousins on my squad last year. He is the benefactor of JJ, and he's going to put up numbers, and that's just that's kind of the luck of the draw when you have Justin Jefferson to throw to, bro.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna be high power because they're always gonna be playing from behind. So he's gonna have to throw it. So that defense can't stop a cold. So they're gonna be giving up points, and Kirk Cousins is gonna have to throw it, get 350, 400 yards, and half of that gonna be JJ. So
Yeah, so Justin Jefferson is a no-brainer. But the question is, how far do you go in that receiver core? Would you start the rookie Addison?
hell no.
No,
Hell no.
Not for week 1. You want to see what he got.
You gotta show me. You gotta show
All right,
me.
what about the receivers on the Buck side?
Mike Evans, and that's it.
no,
And actually barely Mike Evans because they having issues over there right now.
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
but you start Mike Evans just because
It's
it's
Mike
Mike Evans. But
What about
the
the running back White? I'm starting him.
who?
I'm saying
I'm
White.
sure, right?
It especially against the Vikings defense. Oh yeah. I got him on one of my leagues. He was on my bench. I had Ramondre Stevenson in the flex, and he just he's questionable now. And I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna wait to Sunday to figure out if he gonna play or not. I put Whitey.
Yeah.
Doing right on in the slot, man. I mean the flex. Yeah. So and I looked at the Vikings. Heck yeah, against the Vikings, yeah.
Yeah,
That dude might get 2
Swiss.
touchdowns.
The defense is Swiss cheese for sure. So I mean, that's not a bad.
This is crazy, bro. Like, I love Brian Flores, but I think he took a raw deal taking that defensive coordinator job, like, because he ain't got.
That's the only one he could get. That was the only one he could get, man.
I get it, but damn, bro, they put you behind an 8 ball the moment you said, "I'll take the job."
It was doomed to fail from the start.
That's just tough.
TJ Hockenson is a must start. TJ Hockenson must start.
Oh yeah, I forgot about TJ over there now. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna waste time on this Cardinals Commanders game. I will say that the Cardinals defense might be Swiss cheese, and I think the Commanders quarterback might be a possible, depending on what your roster look like, he might possibly score you some points this week. So he possibly could get a start. I don't think McLaren. I think they did clear him to play, but it's turf toe and all that stuff. I wouldn't mess with him. I would go as well.
There is only one must start. There's only one must start in this matchup. It's Washington's defense. That is the only. The only must start.
You might be right.
Because they named Joshua Dobbs the starter,
and he just got to the team about a week and a half ago.
Oh my God, that defense is about to put up some points.
Yeah,
they about to get back there.
Right.
They turn that. That's the only must start in this matchup is Washington's defense.
All right, let's Raiders Broncos. Jacobs. I'm starting Jacobs. I don't care if he just got back off a holdout, and if he's starting, he's playing, he's healthy, I'm starting him 100%.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm 100% starting Devontae Adams 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. It's a no for me with Russell. I want to see what you go do. I'm not starting Russell Wilson.
It's absolutely no.
Yeah, it's a no for me with Russell Wilson.
It's absolutely no for Jimmy G.
Yeah. Now they're starting Javonte Williams off of he got a brand new leg almost, and it's a no for me. With
he's still wearing the Broncos uniform.
Yeah, but but to be fair, Javonte Williams was killing it before he got hurt last year, and he was pretty much the jump starter of any type of offense that they had. We'll see what happens because I got stuck with him on one of my rosters. So I'm like, shit.
He's starting.
Sean Payton.
He's starting.
Is a passing.
Yeah, bro. I had absolutely no other options at running back. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I'm waiting. For real, man. You ain't had no options at running back.
But no, bro. I was at the bottom of that draft, so anybody that I had pinned and I wanted just got snatched. I'm talking about Jameer, Bijan, Saquon. Bijan. They all got yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's it for me. With Raiders and Broncos. I'm starting. Like I said, I'm starting Jacobs. I'm starting Adams. I'm not starting Jimmy G. I'm not starting Russ. I'm not starting Javonte. I'm not starting none of those Broncos receivers, Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. None of them. I'm not starting those guys, right?
Yeah, but Jerry Jeudy out for the next 7 or 8 weeks anyway. So yeah, right.
All right, Rams Seahawks.
Any Seahawks players that you got?
Well, Kenny Walker just popped up on the injury report.
I think he just cleared his designation. I think.
Now you start Geno. Yeah. You start Geno for sure.
No, you start Geno.
Yeah,
you start Geno for sure. I'm not starting Stafford. No, it's a no for me.
Yeah,
he only got his number 1 target. So I'm not starting Stafford.
I'm not starting anything on the Rams offense.
No,
I'm not starting Rams.
Not Akers, not Van G. Yeah, so Rams is done. So
yeah,
Geno, yes. Now you got a question about running back with the Seahawks, because before this injury concern popped up for Walker, you would think you was looking at a 1-2 punch between him and that rookie Cabernet, and he's a good back. But now Walker might not be playing, so if you got Cabernet, that's the guy I'm 100% starting because now he's playing and he ain't sharing the backfield with a guy that's supposed to be the starter over him. So keep your eye out on if Walker's going to play or not. And if Walker doesn't play and you got Cabernet on your roster, I'm starting him, right? If you know, like in my case, my running back 1 and 2 is Barkley and Jacobs. That's my running back 1 and 2, right? And I got White in the flex. But if I had Cabernet, I'm throwing him in my flex if Walker's not playing.
How the hell did you land that?
Oh, I know how to draft. Well, I took a hit on receiver. Remember, I ended up with Drake London as my receiver too.
Oh, okay. How the hell you pull Saquon and Josh in a snake draft?
I told you I went.
It's some dark magic going on in his draft.
I went running back. I went running back first and second round.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot you did say that. All right.
Yeah. You know, everybody listen to the experts telling them, oh man, running backs is not winning leagues no more. Go with receiver. So it's people going receiver first and second round and then getting running backs. I'm like, y'all crazy in y'all head, man. Give me that running back.
Yep.
I'm snatching them up.
You start Geno if you got him. Start DK. But if you don't have any of those,
I'd still put Lockett at either flex or wide receiver too.
I'm actually putting Jigba above Lockett.
That's a tough one. They got 3 receivers that
yeah,
out.
JSN got a wrist injury and
he had the surgery. They say he was gonna be ready for week 1.
Yeah, he'll still play, but I'm gonna go with a sure theme with DK and Tyler before I go JSN. And it's not a diss on him because I think he got talent.
Yeah.
It's just that when you're a receiver and you're talking about your wrist is jacked up, you know.
But when he gets 100%,
he gonna be
got
nice.
him. If you got him, good Lord.
I wouldn't even be surprised if you know, I know Aaron Donald's still there, but the Rams got so many issues. I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks came out and Metcalf, Lockett, and the rookie all got in the end zone. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's very well believable because that secondary is non-existent.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all. All right, this is a big game. Green Bay and the Bears. I am 100% starting Justin Fields. 100%. I'm starting him 100%.
Not opposed to it.
You know how I feel. I'm gonna just leave that one alone.
Nah, don't leave it alone. Don't leave it alone. Why wouldn't you start a dude that's just gonna be great in fantasy? Why wouldn't you?
I think Justin Fields is a one-trick pony. I think
I do that fucking Lions hated.
I think no, it's like so he has one receiver in DJ Moore. I don't trust Chase Claypool. So he says he only has one receiver in DJ Moore. If he can somehow get the ball to him through that non-existent offensive line, maybe. But now everybody's going to be more prepared for him to run because they know he can run. They're going to want him to pass the ball, and he's not going to do well in the passing game. I got to see a couple weeks and see how that offense plays out. I'm staying away from Justin Fields for the first couple weeks.
Ain't no way in the world, man. 2,242 passing yards, 17 passing touchdowns, and 1,143 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns.
How many passing yards?
Only 2,200, but 1,100 rushing yards. That's a running back.
So make him a running back.
That's a RB1. He got more rushing yards than CMC last year. He got more rushing yards than Eckler last year.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can have a receiver or a running back that catches more than he runs or catches better than he runs, and then you can have a quarterback that pass a little bit and run a little bit. You know, he's doing a little bit of both. I mean, a good season for a quarterback is about 3,000 yards passing.
I would go about
3,500.
Yeah.
Right. So if you add up his passing yards, which was 2,200 plus 1,100, he's about at 35, close to 35, just under 35. And then he'll mass for 17, that's 18, 25 touchdowns almost.
Yeah, I like it. I love it, bro.
This guy.
But injury news, man. Christian Watson is out. So now that
Right.
kind of hinders the Jordan Love look. Christian Watson is gonna be the number one, but without the number one, I don't think Jordan Love has a good enough
I might
game.
change my pick. I was actually gonna look at Green Bay to win that game.
I was too. I might have to change that.
But look, what about his number 2 receiver Dobbs? He got the same hamstring issue.
So Jordan Love has no receivers.
He gonna be looking at his tight end and running the ball a lot with Dillon and Jones.
Well, go start you a Green Bay running back then.
Start you a Green Bay running back or maybe that tight end, but don't start Jordan Love. But definitely start Justin Fields.
Maybe start Justin Fields.
I'm starting DJ Moore in the flex. But if you got the receiver depth, and you can get away with not starting DJ Moore, it's not a bad idea to wait to see how they play week 1 before you start throwing them in the starting lineup. I'm staying away from the Chicago running backs. I'm not starting either. I'm not starting Herbert.
Whoever they are.
Damn, man.
And I'm damn sure not starting Cole Kmet either, because the tight end is just another lineman in Chicago. So
all right, last game. Monday night game, Bills Jets.
Start anybody that plays for either team.
Both these quarterbacks start. You might get away with starting Gabe Davis, maybe, but you definitely starting Diggs. Go ahead. Go ahead. You definitely starting Garrett Wilson.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. But I wanted to say this earlier, and I'm glad we got to this game. I don't know if you start Stephon Diggs on this purpose. Just this purpose. Hear me out.
Sauce.
And then, and if he goes to the other side, DJ Reed is still a nice cornerback too. So he's going to get the bracket coverage, and I don't care what nobody say. Josh Allen is going to try to force feed the ball because he wants to make it seem like they don't have this little beef or this little quarrel going on, and he's going to try to force feed the ball. The problem is that he's going against a good defense, and you can't force feed anybody the football on a good defense. So I would actually start Gabe Davis, and actually, as crazy as it sounds, I would stay away from Stephon Diggs in week 1.
I mean, the way they're advertising the Jets defense, you might have to stay away from everybody except Josh Allen. But like I said, if you drafted Stephon Diggs, you got him very early, and you can't afford not to put him on the field. Anybody you draft first, second, third round, you have to start. You got to start him, right? You just can't afford not to, right? So I'm 100%. You got to start Diggs. You got to start Josh. Cook. If you got him, you probably start him as well. The only question marks comes in is who do you start in the backfield for the Jets? Is it gonna be Dalvin Cook or is it gonna be Breece Hall?
I would start Cook. I would sit on Breece just for the time being, just because that's an ACL tear that he's coming back from. Yeah. Dalvin Cook, he has his injury concerns, man, but he plays through most of his injuries until he can't. So
it could well look like Detroit last night. The way they did Gibbs and Montgomery, it can look just like that.
It could, but that's too much of an unknown to hinge your lineup off that. So I think you start Dalvin, you sit on Breece. I know for one thing, I don't start either defense.
I'm starting.
I start Jets defense. I don't start Buffalo's defense because I don't care what nobody say. They're getting older, and without Leslie Frazier, I don't think they're going to be that same defense that's been in the top 5, top 10 the last few years. I will start the Jets defense though. I think Quentin Williams is such a problem. You have to start that Jets defense. The secondary is nice. I mean, they got little weaknesses on that Jets defense. So yeah, you got to start them.
Man, that defense is gonna be. I can't wait to see that defense play. It's gonna be fascinating, man. But
I would also say possibly look at Dawson Knox for maybe like a flex, just because Stephon might be locked down, and then if he can't get it to Gabe, he's gonna have to start doing these little dumb downs. And Dawson is a big red zone guy too. So
yeah, he's a good. So what do you do with the tight end over in Big Green, Conklin? You think Aaron Rodgers will look for him?
Absolutely not.
he's looking at Garrett Wilson, bro, and
He's looking at Garrett. He's looking at Adam Lazard. He's looking at Randall Cobb. He's looking at Dalvin Cook. He's looking at Robert Saleh, the head coach. And he's looking at a cheerleader before he looks at Robert Conklin.
Y'all know why Aaron Rodgers loved Aaron Lazard so much?
Why?
That dude blocks like a tight end.
Yeah.
He blocks like a tight end. He's the tight end size. Him and Waller probably about the same size.
I was about to say, yeah.
Right.
So I would
he's a huge target, but he's okay with just blocking sometimes. If he don't get the ball, he's still okay. He still blocks in the run game. He still blocks in the pass game. But when it's time for you to throw him the ball, you know, he do his thing, man. But they just don't go to him that much. People been waiting for Lazard to become a number one for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when Adams left and he was by himself last year and he just didn't do it, man. But they just don't use him like that. I'm interested to see if they use him like that with the Jets, man. Is it him or was it Green Bay coaching? I don't know.
I think Lazard gets a little bit more love here in New York, especially
he should,
especially because Garrett Wilson is going to garner all that attention as the number one. Lazard was going to be a very quiet number two. But a nice sleeper. So look to start him in the future if you got him.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, man, that's it. That's all the games, man. That's week one. That's your starts. That's your sits, man. Hopefully you get this in time to make your roster adjustments. And then you definitely go see us react to everything after the game on Sunday, man. So I catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.